Data to YouTube. I am recording on Audacity. I have my water.
Me
I
too.
have my wine. We've got our Discord
Okay.
backgrounds. You can't see them yet. All right.
I have my wine. I have my water. Here we go. It shows on Twitch. I just turned my phone volume down.
It says we're live on YouTube. I believe it's time for our faces. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. Oh, I might have to ask Jace to bring me up some more wine because this one's almost gone because I started drinking before the episode started.
I did too. It was like up to here earlier.
Oh, right. And turn myself on D&D. Not Dungeons and Dragons, but do not disturb mode on YouTube. Or blah, blah, blah. What's the damn thing called?
Discord.
Yeah, that one.
I got you.
Maybe we should add that to the pre-pod checklist. D&D Discord. Oh, today has been a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where am I at? Okay. I think all of our audio levels are good on. Hello, Yuri. Hello, Apollo.
Oh, I missed you last week, Apollo. Goddamn cat. Shut your pie hole. Sorry. My demon cat. He has the loudest meow.
Ollie.
Yep. Ollie. Ollie Wally. I don't know why he's meowing. I fed him.
Me.
I like mostly close the office door when we're doing this. And it's like the change of that. He's like, oh my God. Please, no.
I need the door open.
I don't like change. Oh, hello, Cloudy. I've heard that this is your art behind me, and it's simply amazing. I had no idea that you were so talented. I'm amazed by people who can draw or paint or carve or I don't know. What are the other verbs for art? Music, I understand because my family's very musical, but this kind of creative art, I can't draw anything, so I'm always very amazed. I thought this was like official art when I saw it.
I did too. I was like, thanks for the Tally picture. And then I kind of zoomed in and realized I could see her paint strokes and everything. And I was like, Jesus Christ, woman.
Is it oil paint? Acrylic paint? That's the limit of my paint knowledge other than watercolor, but I know it can't be watercolor. It doesn't look watercolory.
No, she does it on like her iPad. I've seen her drawing on her
iPad. It's like digital art? Like,
yeah.
I can't remember the name of that program a lot of people use. It's amazing. That one I don't even understand more because it's like I don't know, whenever I try to like write with a digital pen.
She has a cool glove.
That's it.
She has this awesome glove that I've seen her wear that like it covers up just like the second half of her hand. So that way when she's doing stuff, the glove doesn't allow you to touch the screen, so you only touch it with what you want to touch it with.
I'm really trying to move out of the way so like everyone can appreciate Tally. Ugh.
Follow NPC Quarian on Twitter. And that is Cloudy Atlas.
Oh, that's Cloudy?
Yeah.
I've seen notifications from NPC Twitter or NPC Quarian, and I didn't know. I don't know a lot about Twitter.
We are both stumbling
I go on
through
there,
it.
and I'm like, I don't belong here. Twitter is for grown-ups. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh.
Yep. I was just looking at comments, sorry.
No, Cloudy Atlas 22, and then I think like the display name, which is different than the Twitter handle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Aw.
Well, Cloudy, you deserve it.
Mhm. Are you like me and you just turn red for no reason anyway?
I
Like someone
swear
looks at
to
me wrong and I'm like, I got a rash.
I swear
My
to
sensi
God,
skin.
Cloudy is your triplicate. Like she's
I can't wait.
oh.
Oh, you guys are talking about Forbidden West in the comments, and I just want to mention, I already mentioned this once to Jen, but like I pre-ordered that game and it was supposed to arrive today, but GameStop failed me and it is not even picked up by the carrier yet. They were like shipped, awaiting carrier pickup. And I'm like, no, today was the day. It was supposed to be on my porch and it wasn't. And now I can't play it. And tomorrow we're busy for exciting things, but still busy. So if it arrives tomorrow, I won't be able to play it either. And my husband gets Monday off, but I don't. Anyway, okay, I'm done.
I love it. As for you guys viewing the stream right now, either through a Twitch VOD or live with us right now, or later on YouTube, 99.999% of the time, our background pictures are going to match the character that we are talking about today. But I lost somebody really near and dear to me. Today, like he didn't pass away today, but I was informed about it today. So I have been on a really, really strange roller coaster with my emotions about it. We met through video gaming, and he had originally he helped me learn how to audio edit for this podcast. So he was aware of the podcast. He was helping me out with it. But unfortunately, I found out today that he's no longer with us. And so in honor of my shoe, of my Max, that is why they are here with me today. That is me standing next to him in the most badass picture that we have ever taken together. This picture was taken back in 2016. And every year since then, we've recreated this picture because it was a candid shot it was just like, shoo, Jen, take a picture. And superhero pose came out of it. And so we've recreated it every year since then. But now he's not here. So if I'm a little bit under or scatterbrained, maybe, I guess is the good term for it, that is why. But the show must go on, and that is what they would have wanted. And hearts to everybody.
Toast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A toast to Maxwell. I don't. No, I can't. Just a toast. We'll go with that. A toast to Max. Yes, thank you. Okay. I think we're ready to actually start the show now.
I love you, friend.
Oh. I love you too. Okay. No intro music because it's too loud. I think we're ready. I still got to figure that one out. We'll do it eventually.
Just imagine it, everyone.
Yep. Welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Genesis, the girl who finally finished her Dragon Age Origins playthrough and then immediately started her broship run.
Can't keep Jen away from the Milky Way. And I'm Vervada, the girl who is wondering, are you planning on romancing the subject of today's episode?
Ooh. No, I will say that
Oh.
now. But for my broship run, yeah, no, it's because I'm going Miranda. I want the
Oh,
Miranda experience.
yeah.
um, mm. And as always, we get up close and personal with each of our character breakdowns. Today's character details span over Mass Effect 1 and 2. If you are looking for a spoiler-free zone, sorry lovelies, you are in the wrong place.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Thanks, Sam. And cheers, friend. Let's go behind the veil and look into the heart and soul of today's romance. Tali'Zorah Naraya from Mass Effect 2.
I am Tali'Zorah, crew of the starship Nima, and you are an idiot.
I love Tali. Tali'Zorah Naraya is a Quarian and the daughter of Railzora, a member of the Admiralty Board of the Quarian Migrant Fleet. Though young, Tali is a mechanical genius, and when you first meet her in 2183, she is on her pilgrimage, basically the rite of passage into full adulthood for Quarians. The idea is to leave the safety of the flotilla and not return until you've found something of value to bring back to their people. This could be a new ship, some upgrades for existing tech, or in Tali's case, data pulled from the Geth that can help the Quarians defend themselves.
Now, we're assuming you have background knowledge on the Quarians, but I'll refresh your memory on the important bits that are needed for context. So, the Geth are a race of synthetic robots that physically resemble Quarians, because the Quarians created them around the same time that the American Civil War was about to go down. That's in the late 1850s for you non-Americans. The Geth were upgraded and improved to the point that they gained full artificial intelligence status around 1883. Insane. And fearing their creation, the Quarians attacked.
It's just crazy to think how farther advanced the rest of the Milky Way galaxy species are.
Right?
They're like, we've had this shit for decades, for hundreds of years, and then, in the 1960s, humans are like, let's go to our moon.
Totally random tangent, but and we can talk about this on Thane's episode, but we were researching along the timeline, and the Drell were introduced as a Citadel species in the 1980s. So while we were still dancing around in parachute pants, the Drell made their way to the Citadel.
Crazy. They definitely are all colored just as vibrant as 80s eyeshadow was.
Oh my god. I love it.
It would have matched. Okay, back to Quarians. So the war between the Quarians and the Geth is called the Morning War to the Geth, and the beginning of when the migrant fleet began for the Quarians. It's interesting that the Geth call it the Morning War. It's morning as in the first part of the day, not as in morning when someone has died. Perhaps they call it this because it happened in the first part of their sapience, like the dawn of their time as fully realized beings. They haven't given us a solid answer thus far, but only about 1% of all Quarians managed to escape the Perseus Veil in the Geth. For the past 300 years, the Quarians have been stuck, surviving on their fleet of old ships, constantly patching, upgrading, and maintaining, all the while their already weak immune systems dwindling to nothing. This is why Tali and every other Quarian must live in an envirosuit 24/7.
Getting a new envirosuit is a rite of passage for the Quarian, which is why Tali's changes throughout the franchise as well. On to how we meet Tali in Mass Effect 1. The defining character moment is how a character is introduced to a story in a way that gives you some idea of their personality. Tally's defining character moment is when you help defend herself against Fist's thugs in the alleyway. Quarians are seen as weak, but Tally holds her own and is strong-willed. She slaps the Batarian's wandering hand away and isn't afraid to defend herself. This is seemingly at odds with her young and naive personality. Her soft voice makes you think she doesn't like talking.
Tally loves talking, actually. If you've talked to Tally at all during Mass Effect 1, you'll know all about this, as she basically only talks about Quarian history and culture. She serves as the info dump on Quarians in Mass Effect 1, as she's the only Quarian you encounter in that game. Tally just doesn't like to talk about herself. There is a narrative explanation for this lack of character development in Mass Effect 1 as well. Tally is a Quarian, and that means fleet first, self second.
Luckily for us, they greatly enhanced her character in Mass Effect 2. Tali is considered a genius, even among Quarians, who are known to be intelligent and extremely knowledgeable when it comes to technology. Makes sense that she'd Hermione Granger at you the whole game. Tali is also a young Quarian, still considered a child amongst her people in Mass Effect 1. Her Enviro suit is plain in comparison to what she's wearing in 2, when she has completed her pilgrimage and become a fully fledged adult. Her name changed to Tali'Zorah Vas Nima, the name of her new ship. Once Quarians finish their pilgrimage, they present their findings to the captain of their choice, and if accepted, the Quarian now becomes a part of that crew.
That's something I found out today, was the Nar means child of, and Vas means crew of. So like Tali'Zorah Nar Raya means Tali'Zorah, the child of the Raya, and then Vas Nima is the crew of the Nima. So like that also symbolizes how she's an adult now too. But Tali'Zorah Nar Raya was a young girl with almost ridiculously overpowered tech skills that discovered herself and life outside the flotilla during Mass Effect 1. This experience, alongside the mentoring from Shepard, allows her to become Tali'Zorah Vas Nima, and to have a much more open mind than most Quarians, which will prove essential in the coming fight against the Reapers. You see, it's extremely forbidden to create artificial intelligence in Citadel space. The Quarians were stripped of their embassy on the Citadel and blacklisted by the other Citadel races as punishment for creating the Geth 300 years ago.
The Quarians have been left without a homeworld and without any help for the last 300 years. So it has made them focus inwardly and disregard outside society. This has given Quarians a bad name to other races. They are seen as untrustworthy thieves and beggars, which just reinforces the Quarians' reluctance to trust outsiders. It's a vicious cycle. Other than the pilgrimage, they don't leave the flotilla. This would have proven disastrous to the Quarians during the Reaper War, if it hadn't been for one Quarian woman with high emotional intelligence and a big picture outlook.
The Quarians have also been distracted with their ongoing war with the Geth. When you reunite with Tali in Mass Effect 2, you meet her in the human colony Freedom's Progress, which has recently been harvested by the collectors. That's yucky. Tali is there searching for a missing Quarian, and Shepard is there to investigate the sudden disappearance of every human at the settlement. Turns out the Quarian Vitor helps both Tali and Shepard, and after you either send him back to the flotilla or keep him for Cerberus's interrogation, you and Tali part ways again. However, for the sake of our episode, as usual, we assume a Paragon playthrough, which means you allowed Tali to take him for medical treatment. Paragon, just like with Garrus, allows the most interactions with Tali and the most growth. So aside from a few dialogue options here or there, overall Paragon choices just usually are better outcomes.
I tend to lean Renegade on most options, just because I found that it gets you the same outcome, even if it's not the same way to get there. But knowing what happens to Vitor if you keep him for Cerberus, that's just evil.
Yeah.
And no, please no.
Certain choices for Renegade are
Straight
no
up
good.
dickish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't bring myself to do it.
Nope. But Tali tells you that she is on an important mission in Geth-controlled space for the migrant fleet. And turns out it's a mission to find some data about exploding stars. Read the codex on Haestrom if you want more info on that. You meet Tali again on the planet Haestrom alongside some kick-ass Quarian Marines for protection. Unfortunately, the Geth wipe out her Marines. Paragon Shepherd can help one of her Quarian Marines, Cal Rieger, survive, which is something very valuable to Tali. And to me personally. That voice, oh my god. But the information you find is apparently very important to the fleet also. But the cost is high, leaving Tali bitterly wondering if it was worth it.
A lot of Quarians lost their lives here. Was it worth it?
I don't know, Shepard. It wasn't my call. The Admiralty Board believed the information here was worth sacrificing all our lives for. I have to believe that they know what's best.
I didn't ask what some admiral thought. I asked what you thought.
A lot of people died here. Some of them were my friends. All of them were good at their jobs. That damn data better be worth it. The price was too high.
It's telling about Tali's character that she immediately deflects to the Admiralty Board when initially asked if the data was worth it. Quarians defer to their ship's captains for decisions and other management issues, as each ship is like its own state amongst the nation that is the flotilla. This is kind of a play on filial piety, or duty to one's parents. Quarians are probably the most selfless species in the galaxy and are extremely family first. To Quarians, the ultimate authority is the Admiralty Board, but Shepard doesn't run their ship like that. Shepard values every individual's opinions, and this is one major reason Tali is so loyal to Shepard, romanced or not.
And just like with Garrus, Tali is the only other squad mate in Mass Effect 1 who trusts Shepard enough to join them during 2 on their mission with Cerberus. This is big for Tali, given the events of the book Mass Effect Ascension, where Cerberus essentially just went into the fleet guns blazing. I recently finished that book, and yeah, a Quarian would absolutely not trust anything Cerberus related. To add insult to injury, Jacob makes sure to tell Tali to acquaint herself with the ship's onboard AI, aka Edie, to which Tali responds with an impressive death glare. Given how we can barely see her eyes? Seriously? Jacob's like, Tact 2, we don't know her.
I swear Jacob is... We'll get to him.
Right.
We have a lot to say.
It's going to be the whole thing all over again. We hate a character to begin with, then we start to do research, then we really listen into the dialogue on the romance, and then we end up falling in love with the character and not hating them anymore.
We'll see. I don't hate Jacob. I just feel like he's what I felt about Caden initially. So he's just boring.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see when we get there. Sorry if you love Jacob, everybody. Okay, so not long after Tali boards the Normandy and is part of your crew again, the migrant fleet charges Tali with treason. Yay. This is her loyalty mission. And unlike Garrus, where you always get his loyalty, this isn't the case with Tali. As her captain, you must attend the hearing with her and speak on her behalf. Once there, the Admiralty Board tells you that she has sent active Geth back to her father's ship, the Alarai, and he is now presumed dead. They definitely treat her with the respect she deserves and tell her this in private. Oh, wait, no they don't.
Tali, you're accused of bringing active guests to the migrant fleet. What say you?
Tali would never endanger the migrant fleet. She pleads not guilty.
I left parts and technology for teams to pick up. My father ordered me to do so, but I would never send active Geth to the fleet. Everything I sent was disabled and harmless.
Then explain how Geth seized the lab ship where your father was working.
What are you talking about? What happened?
Admiral Chorus is a particular brand of asshole. Tali maintains that she only sent parts and tech, not active Geth, and the admirals allow her to attempt to retake the Alarai, either to exonerate her or to reward her with a ruling posthumously. They only do this after Shepard yells at them, which is amazing, and I highly recommend it. So the hearing concludes after Tali calls Chorus a bastet, and they depart for the Alarai.
This chorus is a Bashtet. When the board delivers that news to Tali, she's fidgeting and she wrings her hands. It's a nervous habit of hers. Tali may be strong, but she doesn't have a lot of self-confidence. A theme with for Tali in Mass Effect 1 and the first half of Mass Effect 2 is that she does not hold herself as highly as she holds her people. Her people are everything. This is evidenced by her reactions when you say Vitor and Kalrieger, and in every conversation with her where you've had to prod her for her opinion, not the fleet's. Her father is an admiral as well, and we can assume that being the daughter of an admiral in the fleet comes with immense pressures.
This comes into play as you make your way through the Alarai and discover what Tali's father was doing with the Geth on board. He was conducting highly unethical experiments on the Geth that amounted to war crimes amongst the Quarian because he reactivated them in order to study them. Unfortunately, her father died as a result of his experiments.
Do you want to get your father back to the shuttle?
No. Leave him. The mission comes first. It's what he would have wanted.
That seemed a little out of character for Tali, doesn't it? She is someone who had been willing to go to any lengths to save her people. But she wants to leave her father's body behind?
I think this shows how distant her father was from her while she was growing up. He taught her the extreme loyalty to the fleet that she displays here. When you discover the true nature of her father's experiments, she would rather be exiled herself than tarnish her dead father's name. This goes back to that filial piety. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. This goes back to that filial piety I talked about earlier. Keeping her father's name clean helps the fleet, as he was an admiral, but he's also her father, and despite being distant from Tali, she remains loyal.
Paragon Shepard can make an impassioned speech to the Admiralty Board in order to help clear Tali's name and keep her father's crime a secret by praising Tali's knowledge and abilities. Or a renegade Shep can just yell enough and make the point that the admirals are being petty with their infighting and it has nothing to do with Tali at all. Do whatever you want, but leave my crew out of your political bullshit. It's a great fucking line. Either way you yell, compassionately or pissed off, you secure Tali's loyalty. Regardless if you're playing a bro shep or fem shep, this is when you and Tali become besties. Renegade playthroughs get rewarded with this awesome exchange.
I can't believe you pulled that off. What you said. It's been a while since anyone shouted down the Admiralty Board. I think it was good for them. Thank you for being there for my father and me. Even when... Thank you.
Tali, about what your father said, what he did. You deserve better.
I got better, Shepard. I got you.
Well, you can still go back in and get you exiled if you want.
Thanks. But I'm fine with things like this. It's fun watching you shout.
Come on, Tali'Zorah vas Normandy. Let's get back to our ship.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, Captain.
Allie calling you Captain. So sweet. It's a huge honor and indicative of the respect she's had for you and the loyalty she's developed now. And if you are Bro Shep, this is the point where you can romance her. But before we get excited and link our envirosuits, let's take a mid-break.
Mid-break.
You ever miss those talks we had on the elevators?
No.
Come on, remember how we'd all ask you about life on the flotilla? It was an opportunity to share.
This conversation is over.
Tell me again about your immune system.
I have a shotgun.
Maybe we'll talk later.
How did we manage to sneak Garrus onto an episode?
I don't know.
I don't know. Here are some fun facts about Tali. Tali is apparently supposed to be 5'8", making her pretty tall for a Quarian, as Quarians are supposed to be somewhat shorter and slighter build than the average human. It's also interesting that Tali has a somewhat vaguely Slavic accent, given that the other Quarians you interact with have Iranian accents, or as in the case of Auntie Ron, or received pronunciation British accents like Admiral Chorus.
Admiral Chorus.
The Admiral. Yeah, I don't know where that accent came from. I swear.
You know how many people have told me I'm from Wisconsin? I've never been there because I apparently sound like I'm from Wisconsin.
You sound like you're from Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, don't you know? Or that's Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I've never been there either. Okay. Tali apparently was also almost written out of the third game. Their original plan was to have her in the background, similar to how Liara was in Mass Effect 2. I'm glad they didn't do that, especially for the romance. According to Google, we have BioWare lead writer Patrick Weeks to thank for that. We can also thank them for Dragon Age, as they are the current lead writer on that franchise. So thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick, for saving Tali in 3. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On to our mundane moment. Submitted by Psych88 on the Two Girls One Ship channel of the Robots Radio Discord about shenanigans that Tali would get up to years down the road. Shepard, where did we put the aerospace grade aluminum plates? Top shelf. Why? Thank you. And the miniature circuit boards? Where you left them on the soldering table. What are you building, Tali? Oh, yeah, thanks. And the spare Ezo? Tali'Zorah, Shepard, Voss Normandy, what are you building? Garrus read some of your Earth literature about angels, and now he wants to fly because of the whole Archangel thing. And he asked for my assistance. That is a terrible idea. Let me get the soldering iron for you.
That is accurate. I feel like that would really happen.
Right?
It's adorable. I guess space chickens can fly. And on that note, let's slam some Benadryl and get down to business with Tali'Zorah, My Hips Don't Lie, Voss Normandy.
Do think we have one other thing to do first, though.
Just kidding, I lied.
Yup. And that is to thank Toasty and Apollo for being our hopeless... Not for being our shit.
No, I'm just terrible at thanking our patrons. I'm so sorry. I didn't even put a note in here. Oh, man. Next week's our patron episode. I'm going to remember this. I'm so sorry.
Toasty and Apollo, our hopeless romantic patrons. Thank you. And thanks for being in chat tonight, Apollo. And I will make sure that Toasty is able to join us next week for sure. Right now, we do have the poll up for what you want us, the two girls, and our patrons to talk about on our patreon.com/2girls1ship. So if $1 gets you into the exclusive club, and you can vote on what we are going to talk about. But I agree that we need to slam an additional dose of Benadryl. And we can get on with Miss Tali'Zorah.
What could I possibly be suggesting? I mean, a young woman gets rescued by a dashing commander who lets her join his crew and then goes off to save the galaxy? How could she possibly develop any kind of interest in him?
After completing her loyalty mission, Tali takes on a small fever and tells Shepard what life inside her suit is like. She says that Quarians are in their suits their whole lives, and that the most intimate thing they can do with one another is to link their environment suits. It can be dangerous and is considered the most sacred form of trust. Allie accidentally lets it slip that she only trusts Shepard that much. To continue the romance, you must keep Tali's loyalty during her fight with Legion. Although it's more satisfying to keep both of their loyalties by using a renegade.
Sounds like a birth control.
Renegade. You know what? We'll go with Renegade because Renegade is Renegade and Paragon combined together for those dialogue options. That's a
Paragade.
Well, okay, so you're a Paragade and I'm a Renegade.
Okay, you're right. Wait, is it my turn?
It is.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we got distracted.
Okay. This is going well. In the next romance scene, Tali confesses that she's been watching Shepard this whole time and has admired him since the early days of fighting Saren. Tali admits that she was afraid to act on her feelings because she was so sure that Shepard couldn't see who she truly was under her mask. Shepard can further their relationship here, but she'll apologize for putting him on the spot, saying she was unprofessional and selfish, that wanting to be with Shepard could jeopardize her ability to help on the mission due to her weak immune system, and that he deserves to be happy with someone else. Once again, here's her Quarian upbringing rearing its visor and making her feel guilty for wanting something for herself.
Individualistic human Shepard, however, doesn't have any qualms about having something that they both want, especially given the high likelihood that they won't make it back from this mission alive. He says he's willing to do whatever it takes for them to be together, and that's what she wants. She tells him that she needs to do some research because of how dangerous it is for her to be together with Shepard. But she's willing to risk it all to be with him. Not through her suit, though, but for real.
If I'm going to be with you, I want it to be real. I need to feel your skin on mine. I've never shown my face to anyone, but I'm ready to show you.
Oh my gosh. This line makes it abundantly clear how much she loves Shepard. The mask serves a dual purpose for Tali. While it is an extremely necessary part of her envirosuit, it also means that she has a literal wall up with the rest of society. She doesn't know what Auntie Ron's face looks like, or Vitor's, or Cal Rhaegar. She's forced to interact with the world through a sterile and unreal way. The generational trauma that undoubtedly arose from this forced way of living for survival is apparent in how big a deal it is for her to reveal her face to Shepard. I mean, we can all kind of relate. It's been hard to wear face masks for the past 2 years. Can you imagine a suit? I would want to feel skin on skin as well. And that brings us to the romance culmination scene.
It is obvious that Tali has put a lot of thought into this. She knows what she wants and what it'll take to get there. When Tali arrives at the commander's room before the endgame mission, she is visibly nervous. On more than one level. She's nervous about the health risks. She's nervous about Shepard seeing her face. She's undoubtedly nervous about her first time. There's so much that can go wrong. But just like Garrus, she wants one thing to go right. And just like with Garrus, there is little to break down in this scene. As Tali is explaining the precautions she has taken in order to be with Shepard, they make their way to the commander's bed. Shep is really sweet and takes her hands. Tali babbles on about the fact that she is babbling and explains that since nobody can see her facial expressions, she needs to explain everything. It's adorable if you ask me. The girl is not only a virgin, she's never kissed anyone before. And it's cross species, and she could die. But this is what she wants. She makes it very clear that this is her decision and takes full ownership of her power. To still her racing thoughts and to let her know that this is what Shep wants too, he reaches up and removes her mask. This causes the floodgates to open. Tali reacts immediately and grabs an unsuspecting Shepard by the shoulders and shoves him back onto the bed. Tali has some built-up tension. She then straddles the bro and leans into him. The scene fades out with us looking into the face mask from the other side. I really liked it. But being able to see how Tali sees the world while she is seeing how we always see it is a very nice juxtaposition. I have no clue why they didn't want to show us her face, and I really don't have a good explanation for it. So I'm not going to touch it. I mean, I want to touch it, but it's a video game, so I can't. The physical romance between Shepard and Tali is complicated to me. I do not like the fact that literally hours before the most critical mission in the game is about to take place, they decide to do something that might kill her. Miranda made you wait until she wanted it. Garrus had the best reasoning ever. But with Tali, I think maybe a week before the mission would have been a better idea. As for a rating on the physical romance between Tali'Zorah, Voss Normandy, and Commander Bro Shepard, I would rate it a 5 out of 10. I don't like the idea of high-risk sex with possible permanent issues occurring hours before a critical, life-threatening mission where everyone needs to be at their peak performance level. But it is sweet and romantic, and while there is significantly less physical interaction than what we saw with Miranda, there is a little bit more than what we saw with Garrus, but not by much.
I agree. I think the physical aspect is a cute scene, but the potential ramifications are high. But this romance is special. It means so much to Tali to be able to really be with Shepard. This is Tali. Tali who's always been there. She watched Shepard defend the Pharos colonists when no one else would. She watched as Shepard saved the Citadel from the Reaper attack. The attack that she herself tried to warn the Council about, and everyone but Shepard dismissed her as just some dumb Quarian. She watched when Shepard had to choose one of their own to die at Vermeer. She watched as Shepard spoke in her defense against ridiculous charges pressed by the very people she helped save, both in Mass Effect 1 and potentially with the Geth data she could send back at the end of her pilgrimage. She watched as Shepard treated her just like any other member of their crew, like family. Family is interesting to Tali because her mother died young and her father never really showed her love in a way she could interpret to be for her. He loved the Quarian people and the migrant fleet, and did everything for the fleet, supposedly. Meanwhile, his daughter goes on to do everything for everyone else as well. This love for Shepard is the first thing that's really just for her, just for Tali. Tali's special, an individual amongst Quarians. Is it any surprise that the Quarians created the Geth, so alike in their hive mind and selflessness? But just like Legion, Tali discovers her individual soul by Shepard's side, and I love that for her. I think this romance, at least for Mass Effect 2, is a solid 10 out of 10. I may be heavy-handed with my ratings, but I just love all the love.
No, I agree. Like, it's a really good romance. It's just not good sex.
Better. Yeah. Well,
Okay, we don't know if the sex is any good or not, but what we see is not. And that, lovely listeners, is where we would usually end our show for the night. But tonight, we have a special guest. We are excited to sit down with fellow video game nerd, Tali'Mancer, and co-host of the Mass Effect Blue Shift podcast. Please welcome Psych. Hey, get in here. There you are.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, let's do a quick little audio check and see where we're at.
Sure.
I don't like that. I heard me.
Okay. How about now?
Speaking.
Speaking?
Oh,
I'm
no,
talking.
That sounds better.
Yes, I think
Okay.
we're good.
Yay.
Okay. Hello there. Can you tell us your preferred name on the internet and the pronouns that you use?
Psych 88, he, him.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Welcome. No problem.
And we really appreciate you being here tonight. I know that Tally's the bestest, and we wanted somebody that we've known for a while to be on with us here tonight.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Well, we discussed a lot of things about Tally today. Did you learn anything new?
No.
Damn it.
I've always appreciated how in depth you guys are. Tally. How much phrasing this right? I've played that romance about 3 times, so I'm familiar with it.
Okay, so is there anything that we missed? Any key factors to the romance or things that would have brought more depth to this? Staying within the confines of Mass Effect 2. We can't count 3 or anything Citadel related.
Right. No. You guys hit all the big points. Like, I always appreciated the fact like BioWare includes so much of that body language with Tally, like showing her hands ringing. It's kind of the same animation they use for everyone who brings their hands, but they do a lot of it with Tally, and she's much more expressive. It's something one picks up when you have to use your hands a lot or your body a lot to talk to other people.
Yeah, I imagine with no facial expressions, and who knows what Korean nonverbal communication is like, but they have to exaggerate it so much, I imagine. Yeah. We talked a lot about body language with Garrus last week too. I think it's a nice touch that they did to give the aliens some human body language so that we can understand them more. They're not so alien. They're really personified. I feel like that's why everyone falls for them so easily too, though, because the humans aren't. I haven't noticed them give as much detail to their body language anyway, because they're humans, so like we can see their faces, we understand their faces. They say what they mean, but they don't have like little tics.
Yeah.
As much.
Yeah, you would think you'd see that with like Ashley or Caden or Miranda. I mean, they do a much better job with like Miranda than they did with Ashley and Caden in 1 with body language. Like you can see when Miranda gets in her head more than when she's not. But for Tally, like there's a level of full body concentration to communicate the ideas that she's talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, I can even tell like when she's walking or pacing, and the hands really are some of the most expressive parts about her because we can't see it in the eyes. So I think, yeah, I agree with that. Do you remember if you picked Tali on your first playthrough?
I do, and I did. Like my very first bro shep, the guy I made in 2007. He romanced Ash in 1, and that was just what I carried over. And what brought me to Tali was actually that line, that whole segment of lines about how disconnected she was from the world by being in the suit. During my most of my teens and a good half of my 20s, I had to wear these real big like sunglasses, and they covered like this part of my face, like all of it, because I had an extreme light sensitivity to everything. And so hearing another character talk about how someone else, like how they can't experience the world the way everyone else can, it really struck home with me. Because I was disconnected from other people, especially where I live. Like if you can't see someone's eyes, you can't trust them. All right, so I couldn't go to the grocery store without people noticing that, and that becomes a barrier, not just physically but socially. And so I understood, I felt like a kinship with that idea that, Quarians, they're just lying thieves, and, or, however they get demonized in Citadel media or whatever. So when she was saying that, that's what was like, oh, yeah, okay. And my first bro shep actually 4-3 continued that and broke off with Ashley and all of that to be like, no, Tali's my me.
Yeah, once you find your person, it's hard to not continue it with them. I mean, because I've romanced Caden, Ashley, and Liara in 1, I think. I think I've done them all. But then my fem shep was just like, nope, I found my Garrus. I'm good. I'm going to keep it this way. But once you find your person that you connect with, and on my bro shep runs, I definitely have 2 canons that I have found that I'm like, you are my person. And the only reason I would ever pick anybody else is because I do a podcast about video game romances and I really need to go and not do canon runs.
Yeah. For Legendary, I did, each shepherd I made was specifically to do a different romance. That's the only reason they exist.
Psyche is an honorary shipster. So, as someone who has done multiple full playthroughs, is the romance aspect what makes you come back each time?
It is one of the reasons to come back. I took that test, and I'm a hardcore bounty hunter. So one of the other reasons I come back to it is so I can get all the achievements. But after that, it's also for the things that aren't rated as trophies, like being able to say, yeah, I did a full Miranda romance. I played from beginning to end a whole Ashley romance. Being able to say that and have my own honor for it, basically. And also being able to experience that story, being able to see that. I play games for their story. I'll make up my own, make up the choices I can for that story, but it's still the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's so much of Tally's story. I think it's kind of true for all the romances, actually. But I mean, we're talking about Tally, but for
Right.
Tally, there's so much of her that you wouldn't know about if you didn't romance her too. It's not like Garrus or Liara, where you're best friends with them, whether or not you romance them, and you can be affectionate and like have that close companionship. You're really close with Tally, but basically after her loyalty mission in 2, that's it. You know, but if you romance her, you have so much more interaction. You learn so much more about her. You literally get to see her face. So
Well,
I think that that's one of the best ways to get to know her as a character.
indeed, yeah. I completely agree with that. It's not. It's interesting. It's one of the things they held out on the writing side is that you don't. Yeah, Tally's going to be a good friend, but in order to really learn a little bit more, not just about her, but everything else, like you have to romance her.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I think the only things
What do
that
you
we
think
didn't
she
really
looks
talk.
like?
Oh,
That's the first question that popped in my mind. I know they fixed for Legendary Edition, like they fixed the picture. It's not that stock photo, but when you first played through it and you never got to see her face, like what did you think she looked like?
First, I mean, it was definitely a purpley tinted alien. Um, um, but I couldn't really tell you. I couldn't really explain what it is I thought was under there.
Do you
Mhm.
I was just gonna ask, do you think that's why so many people? I had no idea how many people like adored Tally as a romance option because even though I've played this series since it came out, I never romanced her. Um, but I wondered, do you think that people love her so much, and do you love her so much because you can kind of put your imagination to use with her? There's a lot of her that you don't know what she looks like. So does that have any like?
I will admit, like the first time I played through the romance in total, it was that added mystery of I would like to know what I, the player, would like to see what's under the mask, and so like part of the romance was also like hoping for that eventual payoff. It took a little bit longer than the initial part to get to that. Um, but I think that is that there's an air of mystery, and on some level, we all like. I say we all. People do like mystery, and so the idea that you, the player, are also working towards unraveling that. I think it plays into it.
I love that. I think that that's definitely part of the allure is I can't see it, but I know I want it.
Yep.
I want it. Yeah. I think that kind of wraps it up for tonight, unless you've got anything else about the Tallymans that you want to add to it.
No, I mean,
How do you agree with our ratings? Me giving the physical aspect a 5 out of 10 and V giving the actual lovey-dovey 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I do. I think BioWare played it on the safe side for it because they were kind of playing with a lot of unknowns, and they had already received so much backlash before 2 came out for Jack, and I get the feeling they were really being like, okay, we're going to introduce this concept and we're going to see where that goes. And I mean, there could have been 1,000 other reasons why. Programming, you got to store that information somewhere, and we didn't get female Turians until 3, just because of modeling problems, right? So
Because
it's just a
Turians can't
matter
have
of
titties.
say what?
I said that's because Turians can't have titties.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a combination of things going on that limits what they could have done for a romantic scene. So I agree, it's the safe side, but they make up for it in writing it, in the dialogue and the choices that you can make and everything else, which is what Vervada hits on with the 10 out of 10. Like, it's a little bit of a give and take.
I agree.
We had a comment in chat that asked, thanks, Cloudy, what's your favorite Tali quote? Psych.
Well, what immediately comes to mind is after the romance, totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Um,
Should have played that clip.
I think that's the name of the episode, right? Hallie, totally worth it.
Oh, actually, yeah, I haven't picked a name, but that's it now.
but also, I mean, I can't. I'm terrible about like quoting quotes, but it's when she's making the impassioned speech about not being able to touch things, kiss another person, like that was when it was 2010, right?
12.
Mass Effect 2?
I think 12 was 2. 2 was 12.
No, that was 3.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
2007 was 1, 10 was 2, 12 was 3.
But I was feeling heard as a person, and so like being able to see another character talk about something that most of the nation doesn't really care about, like that, that ran home for me.
Yeah. Allie's your girl.
Allie's my girl. It's funny, I married an Ash, but
Oh.
She has her Tali tendencies. There we go.
Okay, I think that's a definitely an after show. That's in the aftermath. Who did we marry? We had to put our spouses on the rank of Mass Effect 2 people. Who are they?
Yeah.
But I think I think we're good for the night. So, like, if you could just mute for a moment.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you like what you're hearing, please be sure to leave a review on iTunes or give us a rating on Spotify and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find me in our 2 Girls 1 Ship chat on the Robots Radio Discord channel, and come give us a follow on all the social medias and on Patreon at 2 Girls 1 Ship. Links to those are in the description.
I'm on the Robots Radio Discord as well. And also be sure to check out our live stream on Twitch and YouTube on Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday. Check out the description for all links if you're interested. Psych, do you have anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, of course. There's the Mass Effect Blue Shift tabletop RPG podcast I do. We are continuing to record episodes, and I'm working with my audio guy on a timetable to start putting those episodes out. I'm hoping to have one out by the end of the month.
That's fantastic. We are eagerly awaiting the next episode. I'm going to have to go back and listen to the first one again.
You can if you want.
I will.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Right. And thanks for listening. And remember...
Kila Salai, Shepard.
No, wait. Wrong one. Ah, no. Thanks for listening. And remember... Robotta, that is your line. What are you waiting for?
Oh, I thought you said you were going to insert the Keela Salai audio.
I did. Did you not hear it? Oh shit,
no,
did we fuck up the end of the episode? It's Sykes' mic. It's going all haywire again.
Okay. Beauty is in the eye of the controller. Yay. I'm sorry. I didn't hear it.
Oh, should we do that over again?
Do you want to?
Kinda, because I want it to be...
Okay, just like wave at me, just in case I don't hear it again.
Okay. Oh, thanks so much for listening. And remember...
Kila Salai, Shepard.
Wait, what?
Beauty is in the eye of the controller? Is that not the right audio clip? Wait.
It is. I'm trying to say, like, I didn't mean to hit the button. Like, it wasn't... I'm trying to make the joke that I didn't mean to hit the button. And so Tally's interrupting you.
I'm sorry. Thanks for interrupting me, Tally. And also, if everyone doesn't know, I am a natural blonde, as evidenced by my dumb moments.
And I am somebody who is off her damn rocker today. So yay. Beauty is in the eye of the controller.
Finn.
And I am hitting stop and recording in Audacity.
Okay, me too.
Yay.
Elcor, yay.
Yay. This night has been
I think we
quite
killed Psych
interesting
with our joking. What is this called? Tally. So,
yes. This is Tally. Save project
my audio.
I appreciate you. Tonight's episode is called Tallymancer.
Tonight's episode is called I Have a Shotgun. Oh,
that was a good one. I think I've heard it once before.
I hadn't actually heard that one.
So then, Psych Marie, whatever the fuck your last name is, you lied to us on our own podcast. We showed you something that you hadn't seen before, and you said that we didn't provide you with anything new.
I thought you were talking about just 2, or the romance. But
that happens in 2.
That is a 2 dialogue.
If you take Garrus and Tally and are running around the Citadel because you no longer can ride in the elevators, and Garrus like lampshades it by mentioning it, and then that's that conversation where he's like, "Tell us about your immune system." That line gets me every time.
It sounded like it was a Citadel DLC.
Nope.
Conversation.
No, it's normal banter in Mass Effect 2. If you have Garrus and Tally in your party and you're on the Citadel, like running around with them, they'll just randomly say it. Although I think it always happens in that one hallway, so maybe it's not random. Like the video I've saw of it is, I've seen a few, and it's always in that hallway.
And yes, I gave you a middle name of Marie because I don't know why.
That's a good guess. Everyone's middle name is Marie or Rose. At least white people.
Do you want me to replay the audio clip so you can hear it again?
Yeah.
I'll always hear Garrus' voice again.
What did I call it? Oh, no, I opened up Garrus. No, Tally, come here. I have a shotgun.
You're Mr. Falk talks we had on the elevators?
No.
Come on, remember how we'd all ask you about life on the flotilla? It was an opportunity to share.
This conversation is over.
Tell me again about your immune system.
I have a shotgun.
Maybe we'll talk later.
So good.
I will post a link to the YouTube video that I pulled that out of, and you will clearly see that it is Mass Effect 2 Citadel.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay. I thought it was from the Citadel because Garrus asks Rex the same question in the elevator when you go from the CIC to the bay.
Yes. I agree with you there.
I never bring I always bring Rex because it's the only time you can play with him. So that's why I assumed that was like the same dialogue, or at least the same rotation of dialogue choices from that. That's odd. I have never heard that, and I've had both Tali and Garrus in my party, especially when I was doing one of my Tali runs, because you bring Garrus, right? That's just what you do. And I've never heard that before.
I mean, there's just so much hidden in these games. Like, how many times have we all played it? And every single time we're like, ooh, I didn't notice that the first time or last time.
Yeah, Jen had to show me where Liara's father was.
That's right. You remember that? That was like our first conversation. Okay.
I was looking at chat. We're just confirming that everyone's middle name is Rosa Marie.
Right. I also tend to give people Elizabeth as a middle name.
Mean to lie. I just had not heard that before.
Fine. It's totally fine, Psych. I just had to call you out because... Wait, what? Whose birthday?
I just said happy birthday because we gave him the gift of a new audio clip he'd never heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's his birthday.
No.
Okay. Where am I headed? 2 girls, 1 ship. Discord channel. I will post the link to the video of which I have closed down, so I will find it tomorrow. But if there are any girls that you can trust when talking about Garrus Vakarian, it is these 2.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Now I think it is actually time for I should go, because I have clam chowder from Red Lobster to eat. I have a wine glass to refill, and yeah.
It's much later where I am.
I need to go figure out what's wrong with my Forbidden West download. So,
oh no,
horror!
My mic didn't work. My PlayStation 4 tried to yellow light on me, and I've had the longest week ever. So.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Every week is so long now
before I lose it. Other than this.
Psych, stick around for just 1 more minute, but we are going to log out of the stream. Good night, guys, and thank you so much for being here. I saw all the comments, and I love you all. Yes.
Good night.
Good night.
So long, farewell, and
I'll be it in the night.
That's the limit of the song that I remember. I memorize all the other ones, but not that one.
The rest of it.
Right? No. All right.